You think you know how to take care of yourself. You brush your teeth, you drink water, you try to sit up straight, you shower, you sleep. Basic stuff, right? Except, here's the problem. A lot of what you've been taught about your body is either outdated, oversimplified, or just flat out wrong. And your body? It's been dealing with the consequences this entire time. This isn't about obscure biohacks or exotic supplements. This is about the stuff you do every single day without thinking. The habits you were told were healthy. The routines you copied from your parents, your teachers, your favorite wellness influencer. And the uncomfortable truth is that some of these habits are quietly working against you. Not in a dramatic, immediate way, but in a slow, compounding way that you won't notice until years later when the damage is already done. So, let's talk about it. Let's go through the common things people do that their bodies actually hate. And no, this isn't going to be comfortable, because if you're like most people, you're probably doing at least half of these things right now, maybe all of them. But if you're still watching, that means you're at least curious enough to find out. So, let's start with something simple. Something you probably did this morning. You brushed your teeth after breakfast, didn't you? Of course you did. That's what responsible people do. You eat, you brush. Makes sense. Except it doesn't. Because depending on what you ate, brushing your teeth right after a meal might be one of the worst things you can do for your enamel. Here's what's happening. When you eat or drink something acidic, orange juice, coffee, fruit, yogurt, even a piece of toast with jam, the acid temporarily softens your enamel, not destroys it, just softens it. Your saliva is supposed to remineralize that enamel over the next 30 to 60 minutes. That's the body's natural repair process. But if you grab your toothbrush within that window and start scrubbing, you're not cleaning your teeth. You're scraping away softened enamel. You're literally brushing away the protective layer before it has a chance to reharden. And this isn't some fringe theory. Dentists know this. There are studies on it. But the advice you hear everywhere is still brush after every meal. Because it sounds responsible. It sounds clean. And no one wants to be the person telling you not to brush your teeth. But the truth is, if you're brushing within 30 minutes of eating something acidic, you're doing more harm than good. Now, you might be thinking, okay, so I wait 30 minutes. Problem solved. Sure. Or you brush before breakfast instead of after. Either way works. But here's the thing. Most people won't change because it feels wrong. It feels lazy. Even though the science says otherwise. And that's the theme here. A lot of what feels right is actually damaging. Your instincts, your habits, the advice you grew up with, they're not always aligned with what your body actually needs. And that brings us to sleep. Because everyone loves talking about sleep. 8 hours a night. That's the magic number, right? Get your 8 hours and you're golden. Except it's not that simple. Because it's not just about how long you sleep. It's about when you sleep. And if you're sleeping at the wrong time, even 8 hours won't save you. Your body runs on a circadian rhythm. It's an internal clock that syncs to light and darkness. When the sun sets, your body starts producing melatonin. Your core temperature drops. Your metabolism shifts. This is all coordinated. And when you sleep in alignment with that rhythm, roughly between 10 p.m. and 6 a.m., your body can do what it needs to do. Repair cells, regulate hormones, process glucose properly. But if you're going to bed at 1 a.m. and waking up at 9, you might be getting 8 hours, but you're out of sync. Your insulin sensitivity drops. Your cortisol levels stay elevated. Your body starts storing fat more easily, even if you're eating the same foods. And this isn't about willpower or discipline. This is biochemistry. Your metabolism doesn't care that you're a night owl. It cares about the light-dark cycle that humans evolved with for thousands of years. Shift workers know this. People who work nights have higher rates of obesity, diabetes, cardiovascular disease. Not because they're lazy, but because their sleep is misaligned with their biology. And even if you're not working nights, if you're consistently going to bed after midnight, you're experiencing a milder version of the same thing. Your body is confused. It's trying to run a program that requires a certain schedule, and you're feeding it the wrong input. So, yeah, 8 hours matters, but when you get those 8 hours matters just as much. And most people don't want to hear that because it means going to bed earlier. It means sacrificing late-night TV or scrolling or whatever else you do. But your body doesn't negotiate. It just responds. Now let's talk about something else you probably did today. You took a hot shower. Felt amazing, right? The steam, the heat, the way it melts the tension out of your shoulders. It's one of the most universally loved parts of the day, and it's also slowly wrecking your skin. Your skin has a barrier. It's called the stratum corneum. It's made of dead skin cells held together by lipids, basically oils that keep moisture in and irritants out. When you blast that barrier with water hotter than about 38 degrees Celsius, which is about 100 Fahrenheit, you start stripping those lipids away. The heat breaks them down, the water washes them off, and your skin is left exposed. You'll notice this as dryness, tightness, maybe some redness. So, what do most people do? They buy a moisturizer. They slather on lotion after every shower. And sure, that helps. But it's treating the symptom, not the cause. You're essentially damaging your skin every day and then trying to repair it with products, when the easier solution is just to turn the temperature down. And it's not just about dryness. Your skin has a microbiome, bacteria that live on your skin and protect it. Hot water disrupts that balance. It kills off some of the good bacteria. It inflames the skin. Over time, this leads to increased sensitivity, faster aging, more breakouts. Your skin becomes more reactive because its defenses are constantly being stripped away. Dermatologists know this. A lot of them take lukewarm showers. But the beauty industry doesn't tell you that, because there's no money in just use cooler water. There's money in serums and oils and barrier repair creams. So, the advice you get is always about what to put on your skin, not about what to stop doing to it. And look, I get it. Cold showers suck. Even lukewarm showers aren't as satisfying. But your skin doesn't care about satisfaction. It cares about not being cooked every morning. So, if you want healthy skin, you've got two choices. Keep taking hot showers and keep buying products to fix the damage. Or just turn the dial down and let your skin do its job. But here's where it gets interesting. Because we're not just talking about teeth and sleep and skin anymore. Now we're talking about posture. And this one's going to mess with you because it goes against everything you were taught. Sit up straight. How many times did you hear that growing up? Your parents said it, your teachers said it, every posture guru on the internet says it. And it makes sense, right? Slouching is bad, upright is good. Except that's not actually how your spine works. Your spine is designed for movement, not static positions. When you sit perfectly upright for hours, you're compressing your lumbar discs under constant load. There's no variation, no relief. Those discs need movement to stay healthy. They don't have their own blood supply, so they rely on changes in pressure to pump nutrients in and waste out. When you lock yourself into one position, even a good one, you're starving those discs. Now, I'm not saying you should slouch all day, but the idea that there's one perfect posture you should hold forever is wrong. In fact, studies have shown that people who shift positions frequently, even into so-called bad posture, have healthier spines than people who rigidly maintain good posture, because the movement is what matters. The variation is what keeps your discs healthy. And here's the kicker. A lot of ergonomic chairs are designed to force you into that upright position. They push your lower back forward. They lock you in. And while that might feel supportive at first, over time it can actually make things worse, because your body isn't meant to be held in place. It's meant to move. So the real enemy isn't slouching, it's stillness. Sitting in one position for too long, whether it's good posture or bad posture, is the problem. And yet, the advice you hear is always about sitting up straight. Because it's simple, it's easy to remember, and it makes you look attentive. But your spine doesn't care how you look, it cares about movement. Now, if that made you question what else you've been told, good, because we're about to get into something even more widespread, something that's been drilled into your head by every fitness influencer, every health article, every well-meaning friend who carries around a gallon jug of water. Drink more water, stay hydrated. Don't wait until you're thirsty because by then it's too late. You've heard this 1,000 times, and it sounds so logical, except it's not true. Your body's thirst mechanism is not a late-stage warning system. It's actually incredibly precise. When your body needs water, it tells you. That's what thirst is. It kicks in before you're in any danger, before your performance drops, before anything bad happens. Your body is smarter than you think. It's been regulating hydration for as long as humans have existed, and it does it through thirst. But somewhere along the way, people started treating thirst like it's unreliable, Like, you need to outsmart your own body by drinking constantly, whether you're thirsty or not. And that's where things go wrong, because overhydration is a real thing, and it's dangerous. When you drink too much water, you dilute the sodium in your blood. This is called hyponatremia. Your cells start swelling because water moves into them to balance the concentration. In mild cases, you feel nauseous, dizzy, confused. In severe cases, your brain swells. People have died from this. Athletes mostly, people doing endurance events who were told to drink as much as possible and ignored their body's signals. And even if you're not at risk of dying, chronic overhydration puts stress on your kidneys. They have to work harder to filter out all that extra water. Your cardiovascular system has to manage the increased blood volume. It's not neutral. Drinking more water than your body asks for is not optimizing anything. It's just creating extra work. Oh, and that 8 glasses a day rule. It came from a misinterpreted recommendation in 1945 that included water from food, not 8 glasses of pure water on top of everything else. But that context got lost. And now, people walk around with water bottles like it's a moral obligation. Your body knows when it needs water. It will tell you. And unless you're in extreme heat or doing intense exercise, your thirst is enough. You don't need to force it. You don't need an app reminding you to drink. You just need to listen. But most people won't, because drinking water constantly has become a symbol of health. It's visible. It's something you can do to feel like you're taking care of yourself, even if your body doesn't actually need it. And that kind of thinking, doing something because it feels healthy, not because it actually is, shows up everywhere, especially in morning routines. You know the type. Wake up at 5 a.m., cold plunge, fasted cardio, black coffee, journaling, meditation, productivity, optimization. The internet loves this stuff. And on the surface, it sounds great. You're being disciplined. You're taking control of your day. Except your body doesn't see it that way. Your body sees it as stress. Here's what's actually happening. Cortisol, your stress hormone, naturally peaks in the morning. It's called the cortisol awakening response. It's supposed to wake you up and get you moving. That's normal. But when you stack additional stressors on top of that, intense exercise, cold exposure, caffeine on an empty stomach, you're compounding that cortisol spike. Your body can't tell the difference between a cold plunge and a life-threatening situation. It just knows it's cold. It releases more cortisol. Your heart rate spikes. Your body goes into survival mode. Same thing with fasted cardio. You're asking your body to perform without fuel. It interprets that as scarcity. More cortisol, more adrenaline. And coffee? When you drink it first thing in the morning, especially on an empty stomach, it amplifies that cortisol response even more. Because caffeine blocks adenosine, which makes you feel more awake. But it also triggers the release of more stress hormones, so you wake up. Your cortisol is already high. You hit it with cold water. You go for a run without eating. You slam a coffee, and you think you're optimizing your day. But what you're actually doing is putting your body into chronic stress mode. And when cortisol stays elevated, your body starts breaking down muscle for energy. Your immune system weakens. You store more fat, especially around your midsection. You age faster. This is why some people do everything right and still feel terrible. They're optimizing themselves into a state of constant physiological stress, and their body is just trying to survive it. Now, compare that to someone who wakes up, eats a balanced breakfast, has coffee an hour later, exercises midday when cortisol has naturally dropped. That person might not sound as hardcore. They're not posting their 5 a.m. grind on Instagram, but their body is in a much healthier state because they're working with their biology, not against it. But here's the thing. The grind is sexy. The suffer and optimize mentality is celebrated. And nobody wants to hear that their intense morning routine might be the reason they're exhausted by noon. So they keep doing it, they keep stacking stressors, and their body keeps paying the price. And speaking of things your body pays for silently, let's talk about your face. Specifically, how it's changing shape without you noticing. If you breathe through your mouth, especially at night, you're not just affecting your airway. You're affecting the actual structure of your face. This isn't a metaphor. This is biomechanics. When you breathe through your nose, your tongue naturally rests against the roof of your mouth. That pressure supports the maxilla, the upper jaw. It keeps your airway open. It keeps your face forward grown and structured. But when you breathe through your mouth, your tongue drops, your jaw hangs, and over time, your face adapts to that position. In children, this is dramatic. Kids who mouth breathe develop longer, narrower faces, recessed jaws, crooked teeth, smaller airways. This is documented in orthodontic research. It's why some kids need braces and others don't. It's not just genetics, it's function. But even in adults, chronic mouth breathing has consequences. Your facial muscles weaken, your jaw recedes slightly. You develop more pronounced nasolabial folds. You look older, faster, and your airway becomes more collapsible, which increases your risk of sleep apnea. And here's the worst part. Most people don't even know they're doing it, especially at night. You go to sleep breathing through your nose, but at some point, your mouth falls open. Maybe you're congested. Maybe your airway is slightly blocked. Maybe it's just habit, but your face is remodeling itself based on how you breathe while you're unconscious. The fix is surprisingly simple. Nasal breathing exercises during the day. Mouth taping at night if you're a chronic mouth breather. It sounds extreme, but it works, because your body adapts to what you do consistently. If you breathe through your nose, your airway stays open. Your face stays structured. If you breathe through your mouth, everything collapses inward over time. And this isn't vanity. I mean, it is a little. Nobody wants their face to change shape, but it's also about function. Mouth breathing means worse sleep, more snoring, more fatigue, less oxygen efficiency. Your body is designed to breathe through your nose. When you don't, everything downstream suffers. But again, most people won't know this until it's too late, until their dentist asks if they snore, until they notice their jawline isn't what it used to be, until they're exhausted every morning despite sleeping 8 hours. And that brings us to the big one, the thing that ties all of this together, the most fundamental thing your body does and the thing most people are doing completely wrong: breathing. Not mouth versus nose, that's part of it, but deeper than that. The way you breathe moment to moment, every single day, is probably wrong, and it's affecting everything. Most people breathe with their chest, short, shallow breaths. Your shoulders rise, your upper ribs expand. It feels normal because that's what you've always done. But it's not how your body is designed to breathe. You're supposed to breathe with your diaphragm, deep belly breaths. Your stomach expands on the inhale. Your chest barely moves. When you breathe with your chest, you're using accessory muscles that are meant for emergencies. You're signaling to your nervous system that something is wrong, that you're in danger, and your body responds accordingly. It keeps you in a low-grade state of fight or flight. Your heart rate stays slightly elevated. Your cortisol stays up. Your digestion slows down. Your body thinks it needs to be ready to run. This is why so many people feel anxious for no reason, why they're tired but wired, why they can't relax even when there's nothing to stress about. Because their breathing is telling their body that they're under threat, all day, every day. And it's not just a mental thing. Shallow chest breathing messes with your oxygen and carbon dioxide balance. You're overbreathing. You're expelling too much CO2, which makes it harder for oxygen to be released into your tissues. So, even though you're breathing more, you're actually getting less oxygen where it needs to go. This affects your energy, your focus, your sleep, your digestion, even your posture, because your body compensates for poor breathing by tensing your neck and shoulders. And over time, this becomes your baseline. You don't even realize you're doing it. But here's the thing. If you learn to breathe properly, slow, deep, diaphragmatic breaths, you can switch your nervous system from fight or flight to rest and digest. You can lower your heart rate, reduce your cortisol, improve your oxygen efficiency, just by breathing the way your body was designed to breathe. And this isn't some new age wellness nonsense. This is physiology. Athletes know this. Singers know this. Meditation practices have known this for thousands of years. But most people go their entire lives breathing wrong because no one ever taught them otherwise. And the crazy part? You can fix this right now. You can take a deep breath into your belly, hold it for a few seconds, and exhale slowly. Do that a few times, and your body will start to calm down. Your nervous system will shift. You'll feel the difference, but most people won't, because breathing feels automatic. It feels like something your body just does, and it is. But that doesn't mean it's doing it right. So here's where we are. You've been brushing your teeth wrong, sleeping at the wrong time, taking showers that are too hot. sitting still when you should be moving, drinking water when you're not thirsty, stacking stress on top of stress every morning, breathing through your mouth at night, and breathing with your chest all day. And none of this is your fault, because no one told you. Or if they did tell you, they told you the wrong thing. Or they told you something that sounded right but wasn't actually true, and your body has been dealing with it this whole time, quietly, without complaining, until one day it starts breaking down and you have no idea why. But here's the good news. You know now. You can't unknow it. And that means you have a choice. You can keep doing what you've always done. You can decide that it's too much effort to change, that hot showers feel too good to give up, that you'll just keep buying moisturizer, that waking up earlier sounds miserable, that mouth taping sounds weird, that focusing on your breathing feels like a waste of time. Or you can make one small change, just one. Pick the thing that bothered you the most in this video and fix it. Not all of them, just one. Because the point isn't to overhaul your entire life overnight. The point is to stop doing the things that are quietly working against you. To stop letting comfort and convenience make decisions for your body. Most people won't. They'll watch this, feel a little uncomfortable, and then go back to exactly what they were doing before, and that's fine. But if you're still here, you're probably not most people. So if this messed with your brain a little, if you found yourself thinking, wait, I do that more than once, hit the like button. Or don't, your call. But if you want more of this, more uncomfortable truths that no one else is going to tell you, subscribe. Because there's a lot more where this came from. And look, I get it. Nobody likes being told they're wrong, especially about basic stuff. But your body doesn't care about your feelings. It just responds to what you do. And the sooner you start listening to it, the better off you'll be. So, yeah, that's it. Your body reacts terribly to these common habits. Now you know, what you do with that information is up to you.